Well, howdy do, everybody. This is technically Future Evan coming in with an important update. Now, in the time that the podcast was originally recorded, and a couple days later, there was a tweet that was sent out by Jeff Fowler, who is the director of the Sonic movie, and he says the following. Thank you for the support and the criticism. The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be, and that was posted on May 2nd, 2019. I just wanted to let you know that me, and by extension Luke, are aware of the fact that they are looking into possibly tweaking Sonic's design. And while he's not here right now, I wanted to give my own little input on the situation. So, the Sonic movie is still set to come out in November, and that's now 6 months away. I don't think they're able to make a lot of massive changes to the CGI, because CGI is something that takes a long time to finalize, takes a long time to go through, revise. It's usually one of the last things that's finished by the time a movie is set to come out. So I don't see them making any massive changes, giving them a complete overhaul. I can see them maybe adjusting the eyes to make it look a bit more like regular Sonic, or maybe changing the mouth a bit, but nothing changing his body proportions or how he's built physically, or even giving him gloves or whatever. Only thing I have left to add is to maybe temper your expectations, because again, unless the movie gets delayed, there probably won't be too much that's changed about Sonic's design. Alright, and with that update out of the way, let's get back to your regularly scheduled podcast. So we know there are a lot of good Sonic the Hedgehog themes that really represent the character. We have Open Your Heart from Sonic Adventure, Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2, and the most recent one, Gangster's Paradise.
What's up, guys? It is your boy Luke.
It's your boy Evan.
And as you know what today is...
The Sonic movie trailer got dropped, and I have so many feelings about it.
Oh, God. Where do we begin? Let's start with the positives.
Yeah.
Sonic actually doesn't look like shit.
Honestly, the only thing that I've seen people really complain about are, the teeth and the expressions. And I'm gonna admit, the teeth look a little bit too realistic for my eyes. I would have liked it if they didn't, go for, individual teeth, if they just did, the white, border.
The white line.
Yeah. I feel like that would have been a bit better. But other than that, I think that this could look a lot worse. That's just my opinion. I think that they tried to make, strike an even medium.
I'm kind of along the same lines as you, as, it could look a lot worse. Because, if you think about it, what people were thinking it was going to look like, oh, that just looked bad. But
yeah.
It's this actually looks like it has potential. Believe it or not, the movie actually looks like it has potential. I'm not saying that as, I don't want it to succeed, because I do. I would love to see a Sonic movie succeed, just like I would like to see the new Super Mario movie that's going to be coming out that's animated to succeed. However, we haven't really gotten much news on that recently.
It's not coming out till 2022.
Yeah, I know. Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Nothing we can really do. However, with that all being said, let's talk about Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. I
know that some people are kind of they don't get the casting decisions, and especially because there was a fake picture of him floating around as a hypothetical Dr. Eggman, and then people wanted the actual Jim Carrey as Eggman leaked. People were that's not what it looked like. It's yeah, because you were looking at a fake image. I think Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman is a good role, and it's a case of, I didn't know I wanted this until I was actually shown it.
Yeah.
I liked his interactions in the movie.
Speaking of which, Evan, what's your name?
Another
man.
Lieutenant. Lieutenant. I think.
Hey, shut up.
I think he's trying to say you're basic. I just liked that interaction.
Yeah, he seems like he knows what he's doing. It seems like he's done at least a little bit of research on the character. It's a more funny Eggman, the more used to, but again, it is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey recently, though, has been very political. But
yeah, but we'll separate art from artist.
Yes.
I think that I like how they're kind of... Well, the thing is, Eggman has different characterizations and interpretations over the years, but in a lot of his older bios, it says that he gets kind of childish and kind of grumpy when he doesn't get his way, when he doesn't win, he'll kind of throw temper tantrums and stomp up and down. And this kind of seems like more of a reflection of that, as opposed to just the very stoic, serious, I'm going to take over the world and kill everyone Eggman that certain other games portray. So I guess in terms of more a classic or lighthearted feel, so far, they're kind of getting that, more eccentric Eggman that it seems so far, and I'm on board for that. And that's just me.
Yeah, honestly, when I first seen Eggman, I was the design looks cool. It's not what we're used to, because the most Eggman designs it's more red than it's black. However, when you look at it, it's more black than red.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just by accident, but...
Right.
I mean, he looks fine, even if it's just a mishap on the color match. He's not fat. He's not robust.
I'd say he's a bit just like a... I don't know if muscular is the right word, of course, but I think it's...
He's slim. He is definitely slim.
He might get a bit more husky as the movie goes on, because I don't know if you saw, like, the very end snippet of that trailer, but they showed a more... Oh, well, after they said, like, Sonic coming in November, they showed a brief snippet of a more traditional Eggman, like Jim Carrey, and he was bald, and he had, like, the exaggerated mustache, and he had the goggles on.
Really?
And I think that, I think what's going to happen is we start out seeing, like, the regular kind of Robotnik and stuff, and he's like, he's got some hair, he's a bit more kempt, but then Sonic constantly stopping his plans and getting away from him will drive him crazy to the point where he'll, like, pull his hair out and just go kind of more mad scientist-like. I think that's what's going to happen with, like, the progression with the Jim Carrey's Eggman.
Nah, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, alright? And this is probably the truth. Between Eggman doing all the plans, he just looks Sonic up on Google and goes, "Holy shit! Is that Sonic's dick?"
I didn't know that this was Rhode Island.
It is.
Oh my god.
I mean, who's the guy that they have like working with Sonic? He was in Hop, I think.
Oh yeah, Jason Marsden.
Okay.
He's
Explain to me how the only two big roles he has are both being drivers for animated characters.
Go to the role that you really want, I guess. I don't know. Some of the casting choices are, I like a lot of the casting choices. I know that back when this first started filming and they were sort of still going for the casting call, they said they wanted Paul Rudd, who's Ant-Man?
It is Ant-Man.
Yeah, they wanted to get Paul Rudd, but I think that either he was too busy with, like, Avengers or whatever, or he was just, like, they didn't have the money for him. Or, like, he just declined
you
it.
have to think about it. Every Marvel actor now is making, like, buku fucking bucks.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, congratulations, Endgame, for being 1.2 billion in the fucking weekend box office.
Oh, yeah.
Opening weekend, but,
I was more interested also in the person who they're getting to voice Sonic. His name is Ben Schwartz.
I've heard of him. What has he done?
He does one of the Ninja Turtles in a lot of the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons.
Do you know which one?
It's the 2012 one that's on Nickelodeon, and I think it's like the brand new one, like Rise of the TMNT or something. Okay. And he also voices Dewey's the Blue Duck, I think, in the DuckTales reboot.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now. I knew the name sounded familiar. You know what? He might... Let me look him up real quick, because he might be the one who voices Leonardo.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I do remember seeing on his, like, IMDb that he is Leo. So, interesting choice for Ben Schwartz. I know I have a friend who's, like, a really big fan of the modern Sonic voice cast. So he's like, why didn't they get Roger Craig Smith or Mike Pollock to voice Sonic and Eggman? And it's like...
This guy?
Oh, yeah, Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, I know him. I knew he looked familiar. He's in a certain TV show. I can't remember what it is. Hold on, I'm gonna look into it real quick. Once I see it, I'll know it.
Actually, late last year, he was on Larry King, and I think that he was asked about the Sonic movie, and I think Larry King asked something like, will you give us a preview of what Sonic will sound like? And he's just drinking a cup of coffee, and he holds up a sign that says no. I thought that was great.
That's actually pretty good. Hold on, so he was in Night School, which is the movie that has Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish, which is it's a comedy. I saw it in theaters with some girl. It was nice. Let's see, Randy Cunningham. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I remember that.
He was in
Disney
Lego
XD.
Movie 2, the second part. He was in also The Other Guys, which is that movie that has Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. He was in that as one of the detectives.
Also, if you can, look up an actress. I'll tell you how to spell it. It's Tika Sumpter. Tikasumpter. Because she's playing a character in the Sonic movie too, and I'm not familiar with her roles.
Okay, so Tika Sumpter is known for another movie that has Nobody's Fools, Ride Along 2, A Medea Christmas. Seems like it's a lot of just... Oh, here she is in the Sonic. Oh, she was in Stomp the Yard Homecoming. Wow, okay. Salt, which is that movie with Angelina Jolie, where she's like pretty much a female James Bond, essentially. Think Like a Man, What's Your Number, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, obviously. What is she doing in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
I think she's a friend of Tom, who's the cop that Jason is playing.
Well, I guess we're going to find out because I'm going to the cast to read. So, she doesn't have what she's listed as, but if what I'm reading for cast is also correct, Neil McDonough is a part of it.
Yeah.
He's been a really good actor in movies. And he was in a lot of some of my favorites, actually. He's in the very first Captain America movie. He's in Walking Tall, which is a movie that has The Rock in it, and he's the main bad guy.
Ooh.
He's in DC Legends of Tomorrow. He's in Star Trek First Contact. He's in the Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li movie, actually. Wow. I can't remember. I think he's Bison.
Ooh.
He Red 2, which is a good movie. Let's see what else. Angels in the Outfield, which is, if you guys don't know, it's like a mid-90s movie. It's
baseball movie.
It's pretty good. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, the greatest movie of all time. Batman Assault on Arkham, which is like an animated movie.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk TV show, like animated one from like the late 90s.
Yeah, so
Agent Carter, he's in like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he has a really good like track record. Yeah, he's a really good resume. I have faith that whatever role he has will be good.
Yeah.
But watch him be like Tails or Knuckles.
That is actually a good question, because I don't think that there are really going to be any other Sonic characters besides Sonic and Eggman.
Which
like, pretty stylish.
I honestly don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either, but I feel like it's such a weird thing, because of course they can't have like every main series Sonic character like Silver
I'm not expecting them to.
Right.
You gotta have at least the main three.
Yeah. I guess maybe if there's an after-credit scene where so if we're going under the assumption that Sonic is from another world and he finds himself on Earth, and if they do manage to send him like back to where he originally came from, maybe we get an after-credit scene where he's talking with Tails and Knuckles. Maybe that's on the assumption that like, oh, Sonic came here from another world or dimension or whatever.
Or who's to say? Well, they make it sound like that Sonic is a threat
to
them in the movie. And if that's the case, when Sonic tries to fight Eggman, he might get Tails' help.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's still like relatively early on. Yeah.
It's way too early to tell. It's only the first trailer of many to come.
It's giving me a very Sonic Adventure 2 mixed with Sonic X vibes. Like, Sonic X and that Sonic's in an unfamiliar place, and like people trying to interact with him, like just trying to either dissect or analyze him, and Adventure 2 in that he's being chased by the government. So I kind of like how it's going for that sort of vibe, but that's just me. I know I say that's just me a lot, but I don't want somebody to be like, yeah, well, I don't like this, and it's like, I'm not speaking for you. Speaking for me.
Something that I should also point out, the guy that's doing the driving or whatever, James?
Yeah, Jason Marsden.
It's James Marsden.
Yeah.
He was also in Westworld and the original X-Men movie.
Wow.
I don't know what role, and he was in X-Men 2, and he was in Anchorman 2, X-Men The Last Stand, which is pretty much like the third X-Men film, then the fourth X-Men film, Zoolander, he's in the original Zoolander. So he has more than just Top. So it seems like they're trying to make the cast reasonable for what they're a part of, for sure, which is good. It's good. So hopefully it won't flop like my manager at my job thinks.
Yeah. I think another one thing that I want to bring up is that I'm glad Sonic isn't a celebrity voice actor. Like, it's not a thing of, I'll just throw a random name out there. It's like, Justin Timberlake is Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, you know how for, like, certain animated movies to drag people in, they'll get random, like, other celebrities.
Take the Smurfs, for example.
Yeah, like, they got Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, they had a whole bunch of other people in it. I'm trying to think of another movie that was like that. Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek is a fantastic example. Mike Myers, fucking
Shrek.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Like, they went the whole 9 yards for that. Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots. Like, really? Come on. Come on.
I understand that there's a bit of controversy surrounding that kind of decision, because it's like, voice acting and, like, acting in person are two kind of different fields, and so people are like, oh, they're getting this person who doesn't really have much experience in the voice acting field, and they could have gotten somebody better. And I'm at least glad that with Ben as Sonic, he has prior voice experience, and he has, like, some major roles in the past, like the new DuckTales and some of the TMNT shows. So at least they have somebody who's, like, kind of experienced, and I like the Sonic voice that he has given so far. Because I think that, and this is just me going off on like my personal taste for Sonic, but I kind of like how it's not necessarily too in your face. Like, you know how in a lot of the recent Sonic games, like colors, Roger Craig Smith, I think he's a great Sonic voice actor, great, but he's very in your face, trying to like sort of capture the 90s feel of Sonic, like, whoa dude, wiggity wiggity dab, that kind of stuff.
First off, dab was not a 90s thing.
I know.
Second off, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Again, I'm not saying that Roger Craig Smith is a bad Sonic at all. I just think that that's the voice that he typically goes for, and that's not bad. But I just think I kind of like...
In this movie, it shouldn't be that.
Right. It shouldn't just have to be like, whoa, you remember when I was like hip in the 90s? Because I feel like there are certain Sonic games and even canons where Sonic is a more complex, kind of fleshed out, kind of multi-dimensional character. He's not just constantly making one-liners. And the movie's kind of making it seem like that, but I feel like as long as they don't overuse certain lingo, or if they make Sonic capable of more than one emotion.
Basically, as long as they just don't make him gotta go fast Sonic, and
right.
they make him an actual hero, the movie should be fine.
I mean, he does say gotta go fast in the trailer, but like by that point, by like 2019 Sonic stuff, that's a given. That's has transcended beyond like meme status.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to bring up in that trailer that we've seen. I mean, when he does his spin dash, when it's earth-shattering, like, really? Like, is that really necessary? You just had to throw a big-ass earthquake right where he stands?
I mean, a lot of the old Sonic biographies say that he can break Mach 1's speed, which is like an average of 750 miles an hour. So if Sonic is supposed to be like a high-collision kind of attacker, when he like does the spin dash thing, I could imagine that it would cause like a little bit of a shake because he's just going down at insane speeds. And like the way he used the spin dash on that one like vehicle that ends up being controlled by Eggman, it kind of reminds me of the drop dash from Sonic Mania. It just kind of gave me that feeling. And I can at least say that they used the actual sound effect from the game, the they actually used that in the trailer.
That's good.
And one thing I want to talk about that's interesting that I don't know if many people are talking about, warp rings. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it, but there's a scene where James's character and Tika's character are like falling from a building, and Sonic chucks this ring, and it ends up being like a portal, like a warp area for them to land to safety.
No, I didn't see that, actually. You'll have to show me when we get done.
It was really brief, but it reminds me of like how the special stages worked in the classic Sonic games. Like you could go through a giant ring, and it'd transport you to the special stage. And it's also a thing that's talked about in other Sonic lore, like I think in... not the cartoons, but in the Archie comics, they used rings sometimes to warp to different places. So that's one of the more interesting things that they've taken from the sort of source material. I didn't expect something like that.
Fair enough. I actually didn't see that. I'll have to rewatch the trailer.
Yeah.
For sure. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna flop. I really don't. I can't see it being something that like
is like Super Mario Brothers movie bad.
Yeah, like we were talking about this earlier. There's no way in hell in today's day and age where people like are not gonna be like, oh, it kind of looks interesting. Like, yeah, my manager might have said it's gonna flop.
Yeah,
but I don't think he means it in the sense of like the movie is fucking gonna be garbage. Like, no,
right?
Like he just doesn't think it's gonna be
financially successful.
But at the same time, there is a Sonic fan base out there.
Yeah.
See, back in the day when the Mario Brothers movie got made, you could just tell from like watching the trailer. I watched the trailer from like back in the day. If I seen that shit, I would have been like, hell no, I ain't taking my kids to go see that. Fucking Koopa King had a snake tongue and was a human.
That's like the weird thing, like stuff like the Mario movie. I know a lot of people are trying to defend it, like, oh, well, that's at least a so bad it's good movie, or they at least tried, and it's
or they'll be like, in its time, like it was good. Okay,
no,
late '80s is when the movie was made, right?
Early '90s.
Early
93 is when it came out.
Okay, '93. In '93, you had the technology to make it better than what it was.
Yeah,
you had special effects people. You had costume designers. You're trying to tell me someone couldn't make a costume for Bowser?
Right, you're trying to tell me that they couldn't have made something at least partially convincing.
Right, like, homie, if I walked into your castle, quote-unquote, and a dude is sitting there sticking out his tongue and it looks like a snake tongue, I'm gonna laugh in his face and he tells me he's Bowser?
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh in his face and it's Goombas or even Goombas.
That's the kind of thing where it's like...
You don't even try.
Yeah.
This looks like it's trying.
even back then when the Mario movie first came out, that was like just panned all across the board. It was often regarded as one of the worst movies of '93, and from what I remember, because I just watched the Gaming Historian episode on this, good episode, but they said that the people who ended up directing it, after that movie, they could never get work again, because whenever they'd call up people, or like people would call them up to see if they could do directing roles, whenever they were looking through the resume, a lot of the people who would try to hire them would say, "You did Super Mario Brothers? Oh dear God." And just like, that movie ruined people's careers, and I think that we're above that sort of thing where it's like the sort of, it's so bad, it's on like the top 5 movies of X year kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that Sonic movie is going to be that bad, because I think it's a mixture of like, okay, I understand why people would be upset with Sonic's design, because it's not as close to like the actual regular design for Sonic the Hedgehog as it could be. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why doesn't he have like the one giant sclera thing, or why are his shoes so ratty, or why doesn't he have the peach arms? And it's like, you're allowed to dislike that, but acting like this is going to kill Sonic, I think is just completely foolish.
Yeah. Honestly, like, for me, I'm being honest, the Sonic movie's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I think it will make its money back and maybe a little bit more. I don't see it. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to say this to be like poke fun at the fucking movie.
Right.
People can disagree or agree with me all they want.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's not gonna be like a fucking one.
It's not going to be a masterpiece.
And that's fine. I'm not asking for a masterpiece. I'm just asking for justification for the movie to be good. And from what we've seen so far, it looks like it's doing just that.
I mean, Sonic turns into a JoJo character. What more could you want?
Shit, you ain't fucking wrong. I really don't have much else to add on this, do you?
Nah, I could probably... I mean, personally, when I'm in my mood for, like, Sonic stuff, I could trail off for a billion things, but I would just be repeating myself. My big thing is, I understand that people don't like it. There's, like, sort of a... It's not even mixed reaction, it's...
Pretty much all, from what I've been reading at least, everybody's not a fan of it.
But here's my thing. I don't really take those into account because... Luke, do you remember 5 years ago when Sonic Boom was first announced?
Yes.
Do you remember when people were upset that Sonic had blue arms
Yeah.
and Knuckles was a big buff boy and they were all wearing sports tape?
Yeah.
You know what happened? A lot of people ended up getting used to those designs and thinking, oh wow, these designs aren't that bad. In some cases, they're actually good.
It's like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 with the whole, like, trench coat and,
Yeah.
like, top hat, like, or whatever hat it is. No one thought it was going to look good, but when we actually seen it and we got used to it, it's not that bad.
I'm just so used to Sonic fans kind of saying at one point, oh, X thing about the franchise sucks. And then a couple years later, whenever the next thing is coming out, or whatever, they're just sort of like, you know, I think we all took this game or this show, whatever, for granted. It wasn't that bad. And it's sort of like, of course opinions can change, but it's just this weird thing of like, one year you're like, oh, I didn't want this. And then you're like, why didn't you just stick with this? It was so much better than what we have now.
Right.
That's the kind of thing that just gets to me. And I feel like by next year, or even by like 2021, people either aren't going to really care, or they're going to find out that, oh wow, maybe that wasn't as bad as we were making it out to be. I'm very tired of knee-jerk reactions, you know?
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
And that's my stance on the Sonic movie. I'm definitely going to go see it. I'm just hoping for something that's good fun.
I don't really have much else. I just hope the movie's good. That's really all I can say.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for taking a listen. We do always appreciate. If you guys have any concerns or questions involving how we feel, or have anything you want to add, feel free to drop a comment below.
Yeah.
We always read the comments. We've had one comment in the past, 3 videos we've had, but I knew the person, so you guys gotta be more contributing. Come on.
That's what you get when you're living in a gangster's paradise.
Living in a gangster's paradise.
I thought that was funny. I didn't
Dude,
think it's very fitting, but it's funny.
It's funny, yeah. But it's like, of all songs to pick, you picked that one.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have picked the one involving, like going fast or anything like that.
Right.
Like, you couldn't have picked, like, the Speed Racer theme or anything like that.
That would have been more of a meme, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's not too late to sign Travis Scott on for a song, even if you have to use, like, sicko mode or something.
You know what? If that happens, Paramount can take all my money.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.